Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Charismatic Mystery. Tonight we're playing the module Curse Strahd, but it's been changed, transformed, and we're playing in the system and the setting of Frostmark RPG, everything created by moi. There's a content warning for tonight of bad language, gothic horror, heavy topics, and perhaps on gore. We shall see. But with me, I have a wonderful cast of players. I usually have Lady Lyra, our half of the Magus, played by Jules. Sadly can't make it tonight, but it's okay. I'm going to do some NPCing. But then we have Hamartia, a changing warlock, played by Cookie. Hello, welcome.
Hello. Well, glad we're done with whatever that was.
Next up to Stani, a tiefling bard, played by Adriana.
I already did that, and now we're back on the road again.
Back to Viridian Sea. Okay. Chipkas, our undead paladin, played by Weewu. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Ooh, and what happened last time, gang?
Right. I'm assuming you want me just to read the entire sort of...
You
recap?
do whatever you want.
I'll just do the entire thing then.
Okay, alright.
So, we start off with Hamartia having a short but definitely not sweet conversation with Mother, where this being offers her gifts and powers, with Hamartia answering some much more pertinent questions with strings attached and whether she can release the elemental upon gaining its power. But of course, Mother Knight, being the bitch she is, refuses to give any good information on the subjects, you know?
Okay, I see.
The hag, they've already tried to kill us. Instead, it decides to show Mother Hamartia a taste of a relationship with her could entail, flooding her with a warm, confident, and righteous emotion like she'd have if she actually had a half-decent family at any point in her life.
Wow.
Hidden saving throw is made, and Hamartia manages to throw herself out of the cold yet warm embrace, but scared out of her mind, she calls out for the rest of the party to come and help. Understandably worried, the party immediately responds and starts to prepare themselves for a fight as they draw near, spewing out of the words are hard. Spewing out of the pool is a massive cloud of screaming faces and monstrous body parts, red lightning coursing through its arteries and veins, and as it swallows light as it appears. Standing their ground, we all decide to face the aberration, which is fast as lightning itself, blowing towards us, landing between many of us, swirling like a tornado and throwing us all around like ragdolls, which is actually quite entertaining to watch. The shock of the impact causes many of us to lose concentration on our prepared spells, and then stuff happens in real life. Yeah. Time shenanigans later.
The gods were
Arius does-
displeased.
Yeah, the gods were displeased and stuff happened. But we're back and another day. And Arius does the big think, which is, tells that he's big smart boy, and he strokes his beard, thinking all of that. Only manages to realize that this creature seems to be some degree a hybrid between the mist creatures and the wind elementals that we faced yesterday morning. As it is his MO, as the gem is written, Arius goes to hide behind a tree. You unleash your normal physical and magical might on the hostile, and during the process, one after the other, we discover the strange dancing misty circle of forest folk spectres acting like a barrier between them, with no effect seeming to be able to carry from outside the barrier inside, but the creature seems to be held inside by the circle as well. Illyria is also highly disturbed that the Sunsword doesn't have the normal effect, which is honestly, I think, completely understandable. And upon seeing this, Nyx has to limit his magical repertoire. On the other hand, Arius refuses to have his lightning damage resisted and manages to slam into this literal storm with lightning, which seems very counterintuitive, but whatever. The mist creature slaps people around like, ragdolls again, and attempting to suck vitality. A good suck, attacking us physically with screams of souls, blinding, muting, and sapping us of our strength. Over time, adapting, overcoming, improvising, as Bear Grylls has always said, we managed to actually eventually retreat outside of the dancing mist circle, But coming back to the creature's turn, having no viable target, it appears to retreat and disappear. Hamartia approaches, seeming to continue the fight, but the creature doesn't want to appear again. It's gone off on a sulk. In the absence of the struggle, in what is it, primordial? Whatever it speaks in. Hamartia rapidly explains what happened to her, and everyone quite thankfully expresses worry about sudden greeting, but ultimately relief that Hamartia managed to resist. The haglet. I feel like this is slightly a slur calling her a haglet, to be honest at
But
this
it's so
point.
cute and it's so effective.
I bet
don't
you're
know.
naked with
It's
those
like-
clothes on, you haglet.
Yeah, you fucking haglet. Evidently finds it very serious matter as she asks us all to cut her down if she's unable to resist. Jesus Christ. Gruesomely, Hamartia takes the 3 body parts required from her mother and, well, just kind of shove the rest of the body to the road.
Yeah.
Having a conversation about the whereabouts of the stone and pulling up the collective memory, believe that each of the hags took a heart each of the elementals. Illyria remembers that Cantemir had a massive jasper stone as a necklace, and together with the news that Village B is experiencing a growth spurt, you assume that the heart should be there, and that you should head there next to acquire it. Sending word to Valaki about the orphans and checking in with the Martikovs are both things we feel like we need to do, but with Illyria's newfound ability to cast Sending, you decide to do it on the way. Feeling tired and somewhat dizzy, all of us retreat up the hill to find a safe place to camp.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do that.
Woo.
I didn't see the text. Is the safe with quotation marks or
What?
is it actually safe? Maybe.
Have a look yourself. Or we'll
Well,
find out.
we shall find out. That's for sure.
Next time. This is awesome.
You're back to sleeping underneath a misty sky. And so you hunker down amongst the ruins of your own making. After getting a fire going and heating up some food to refuel yourself, there's a moment of silence as you gaze onto the charred and jagged stones that remain of the base of the windmill, watching the flames dance and flicker across the blackened surface. Sitting within this scattered corpse, it teases forward different thoughts for you all. For Arius, it's mostly a peculiarity, but he is also disturbed when he thinks back to how Cyril had partook in a pie and how they never understood what his strange addiction behaviors afterwards actually meant. For Illyria and Nyx, it feels like a lifetime ago that you were here. You mourn the dead yourself, your dead past self, and reflect on how much the mists have transformed you, the emotional journey you have underwent, and the friends you have left behind along the way. Hamartia has many memories to process of horror and abuse. And though somewhat shaken from what has transpired earlier this evening, she continues to take trembling steps towards redemption and healing nonetheless. Jivkov's mind gets filled of thoughts of a world that has ceased to be, of how this was once untamed wilderness, then a sprawling community of hamlets and windmills built at every windy hilltop, and then jagged, fragmented memories of centuries of mist, decline, and death. Of how this was probably the last standing windmill built by the Barovians. But now, just another monument to what the curse have wrought. And over your shoulder, the misty forest folk dances the night away, frantically as ever, bliss and rapture on their distorted faces, and hiding the bubbling blood pool beyond their obscuring circle. As this silence starts to grow thin, do you turn to conversation or to your bedrolls?
I think there's conversation to be had here. Nix will turn to Hamatir over, warming some rations over the fire. And noting that it's been quiet for a bit, he says to Hamatir, "So, what happened today? You gave us the smaller notes of what went on inside that bubble, and all we saw is your body contorting. And, we've seen that before, and we were alarmed then, just as we are alarmed now. And I'm just curious, Matir, are you able to piece together anything that happened in there before that big bubble came and sought to blow us to pieces?"
Yes. I remember things pretty clearly. At first, when I approached the rocks and they did what you claim they did, it was, I don't really want to say business as usual, but it was nothing we haven't seen before. I met the spirit and it gave me the instructions needed in order to free it, presumably. And then I came back to my senses. And then another voice started appearing in my head. Oh, it sounds bad when I put it like this. A female voice that I do not really recognize. It claimed to be... I think it is Mother Knight. She wanted me to take... she wanted me to take my mother's place. My mother's job. And I politely refused. And then she got a little bit angry. And suddenly a mist monster came out of the fucking pool. And from there... Well, it's from there.
So, why did you refuse?
Well, there are several things. First things first, I asked her would I take that position? Would I be able to free the elementals? And I didn't really get a concise answer on that. So it seems like she wasn't really the most honest sort of goddess. And before the thing happened, I mean, why would I take my mother's place there? My mother's job was to keep them bound. If I would have taken the job, I would have gone against it, no matter what power I gained. Your objective would go for me then. I will be the next hag, and you would have to kill me and take my tongues and hairs and feet and toes and use them to free the monster. That's a too high price to pay for what is essentially power that I can attain by safer ways. But what offer? Have you ever been offered something that sounded like the best thing you can possibly have? That if you just take this one step, all of your problems will be solved. All the things, all of the nasty little things that stand in your way. You can able to push them aside and reach whatever you want. Have you ever felt this sort of temptation?
Illyria looks away.
Nyx notices that she looks away and with a sly smile says, "Yes, but an ointment cleared it up later."
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I guess I'm missing the context. Anyway, it felt good. It felt really good, and because it felt so good, it felt wrong, in a way. If there's one thing I've learned from my time with you here is, well, don't kill innocent people, but the second thing I've learned is, if something seems like the solution to all of your problems, it may pose a bigger problem later. I just think of things like Strahd and all of every single one of these creatures trying to make deals, trying to make you feel like this is the best solution. This is what's best for you. And we've seen the result of this. If I am to bring change, I can't take over my mother's job. That would mean that the pawn has been replaced. We would have done nothing. Nothing would be achieved. I would get more power, sure. But then what? We're still in the same circle. We need to break this wheel.
I think Amadia did the right thing. I don't think whatever they're offering is gonna lead us closer to a Barovia with sunlight.
It would only distract.
I think as long as we have the luxury to resist, we should.
Nyx stares into the fire, thinking.
But I think it does confirm one thing. It's very, very grim thought, but I may think that Strahd isn't the strongest force we're up against.
What do you think is?
Well, Strahd is an immortal vampire, but Mother Night is a goddess. If she...
I'm sorry, you might have said something about it in the past, and I did hear some Vistana speak about it in Singapore, mentioning this Mother Night, but I don't actually... What do we know?
I don't know much, but I do know that my family, myself included, worship this goddess, and that my mother was in direct service to Mother Night. That's why, and Mother Night wanted me to take my mother's place in this conspiracy, this whole thing, and she's going to make a minor illusion of like this little diagram with the three naked hags and Strahd in the middle and the tornado mountain and squall, and the water spout. This whole thing. She's involved in some way, and if she's involved in some way and she wants to keep the status quo, then that makes us our enemies. Her enemies. But then again, she's also in being worshipped by the werewolves. And they are opposed to Strahd, so this makes things just more confusing.
The werewolves are not really opposed, no. They were submissive, and there was a faction of them that wasn't particularly, happy about it, but they weren't supposed to Strahd. In fact, they were working directly underneath Strahd until we got our, our influence in there.
Forgive me.
Point
I was
in
under.
case. Yes, Amartya.
Yes, so I do believe that if Strahd was the key to all of this, if Strahd was the one in control, shouldn't he be able to go outside the mists? He can't. He's cursed. He's not in the position of absolute power in Barovia. He's perhaps second in command. But I believe that there is some force greater, some force keeping him as well as we here.
I believe that lies in the mountains.
So, just before we get to that temple, because clearly, because you have some sort of information there. I imagine because you've been around for so long, you must know a lot of things. But before we move on to that, Hamatya, I need you to think.
Yes.
When Mother Night was offering you this opportunity, did it sound at any point to you that she was desperate? Desperate to make you take the place because nature abhors a power vacuum.
She did not sound desperate at first, but when I refused her, she was noticeably angry, perhaps frustrated.
I think they are scared.
What does it take to scare an entity that is stronger than any other in the land?
Well, perhaps we are challenging the status quo. We are perhaps the most significant opposition they ever came across.
I may not call it that, but I do not think this place is as powerful as it used to be. Strahd has lost a lot of what he used to have before the mists.
Well, he's lost.
Think about it. The Sun Sword, they killed the Hag, killing an angel, or whatever the fuck your father was. We're doing some unprecedented things here. In passing my lifetime, my very short lifetime, of course, I haven't heard of anyone doing something going this far. Areas before us didn't go this far. It was dealt with swiftly. My apologies, Sirius.
It's quite alright. It's the truth.
And to throw it all the way, we have, and she is going to look at Illyria, Lady Titania herself opposing him. A clear weak spot in this indomitable, tyrannical evil, this soft belly, is right here beside us. Now, if you were in control of an absolutely tyrannical, powerful vampire lord, wouldn't you feel frustrated that, despite all evidence pointing to her being a threat, he can't do it? We are gathering our strength, whilst they are losing more and more soldiers, and perhaps we still have a long mountain to climb, and we still have a long road ahead of us. But this may have the first time in 20 years at least that some rule is challenged in a more than minor way.
Illyria brings
That's-
out her tarot cards. and looks at them.
What are
What do you?
those?
Oh, Taroka, sorry. TM. Gosh darn.
No,
It's
yeah.
copyrighted to Taroka.
No, Jivkos has no idea.
A gift from Madame Eva. With some, well, in hindsight, some very powerful messages she gave us. Well, me and Nyx now.
Why would she help you?
She, for lack of a better term, was my mother. Not my real mother, but the closest thing I had to one at Savoie. She did us a kindness. She used her gift one last time to give us the edge of what we had to discover to put an end to the mists and to Strahd. And in doing so, she lost her life. At least that's what I thought.
She grew
She was-
tired of him as well.
I think it was more. She saw that it was impossible to maintain the current system that we have here. And if anything needs to change, someone needs to take a risk. And she took that risk for us. And I imagine it was a deal that she made. That if she would ever go back on Strahd on the deal, to use her, foresight, her gift against Strahd, that she would be cursed to turn into a gargoyle, and that is what happened. I like to think that she still is inside. I had an encounter with her, along with her Matia, a while ago. And when I say her, I mean the gargoyle kind of hair, the stony kind of fangy kind of look, but then that wasn't too dissimilar to how she really looked.
Amatia's eyebrow is raised.
Emiria laughs.
Yeah, she wasn't a big fan of moisturizer. And there was a standoff. And I heard her voice. And she cautioned me. And therefore I feel like she's still in there somehow. No, as a gargoyle forced to live in Ravenloft Castle. Why do you say, Jivkos, that... I mean, when you responded, it felt like you were kind of surprised that she was someone that would help us. What do you know about her?
Do you know how long she has been around?
I do.
And you know her familiarity with Strahd?
We do.
That is all.
Argenvos told us.
What did he tell? Just that she
No,
appeared to be very close.
There was a group. Strahd, his brother, Tatiana, Radovin, I think, and Eva. They were
Rahadin.
a group, just like us. And he gestures to the group. They were looking for something in the temple in the mountains, as you say. And they were close, as far as I am led to believe. But not all parties stand the test of time, and certainly not with Thrad's ego wanting his brother's wife.
and how they got access to that mountain, too.
That we don't have the exact detail, other than Madame Eva's abilities.
Do you know why my order was in this valley?
Tell us.
To prevent any from venturing near those mountains. Our entire reason. Argynvost traveled in his younger years before founding our order across Karnas. Many, many centuries ago now. Befriending, I'm sure you know, Empress Shay.
Yes.
He explored here to Morkan. And here, in the valley that has now become Barovia, in the complex of Gaius, he came upon something that even he was barely able to resist. An evil, a voice in an ancient structure that offered him his heart's desires. It nearly beat him, a dragon, but he managed to resist. Then he obviously knew no could come across this evil or be allowed to talk to it. So he settled. People came. It grew. And he decided to make us the Order of the Silver Dragon. That is why my order exists. And that is why we were slain.
Do you know what lies within the place you are guarding?
He shakes his head. No. You think I would be foolish enough to venture myself? No. It is something beyond evil, beyond Strahd. And he killed us for it. Him and many others. After dispatching of Shay and many others. And I think it is the reason he is trapped. He must have conversed with it after felling me and my family. And I think it is the reason I am cursed so. And he is as well. It is the reason this mist exists. Him and that entity.
Well, I don't want to, put a chill up your spine, if you can even feel one, of course. But we have to go there.
I know.
Friends, I have a far-fetched hypothesis.
Yes.
The way you described it, it sounded familiar to what I've had. This feeling that this is the one thing I want the most. What if Mother Night is connected to the entity, or in some way or another? Do we have more information about this entity, its nature, its anything?
Not much. Just that you should never try and speak with it. I understand we wish to go to there, and there is an artifact, correct?
Correct.
Make
Do
it
you know? Go ahead.
go
You continue if you had a point.
on. Go on.
Do you know what happened to Empress Shay in the end?
Dead.
Are you certain?
By the Zarovich Empire. Yes.
You saw her die.
Don't think you will have seen that, no.
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 But
Let's try to done anything with her body is the question. Because I feel like you kind of do something with it, but
I mean, there were probably many like tales and rumors about it, but you were never that close to the inner circle of the Savage Empire by that time. You know, of course, Argenvost, as I described in the text, wanted to lay low.
yeah.
But a part of the mythology of the war between Che and Tsarevich, Che defeated Barov, Emperor Barov, Strahd's father, bloodfather.
Yeah.
And in revenge, Strahd rerouted his forces after being missing for a while. And faced them up in the mountains, and more of a guerrilla kind of warfare tactic, and killed Che in turn. And that's when the Che Empire broke.
Yeah. I have not seen her body myself, but I heard of him severing her head, burning her body, and chasing the remains of her armies through the mountains, shores, killing all that he could until the oceans ran red.
That sounds a bit extreme, isn't it?
You think Strahd is nothing but?
Good point.
We know, though, that that doesn't necessarily mean that someone has actually died, especially someone as powerful as Emperor Shay. Take a look at is it Casimir? No, Casimir's sister.
Oh, Katrina.
Who?
Isn't she a ghost?
Right, she's dead.
A spectre?
A specter that walks the halls of the temples in the mountain.
Yeah, I had an encounter with her, Katrina Velikova. We will make me an intelligence check.
Oh, fuck. Just a straight roll. 11.
11. Yeah, but considering that it's fresh in your mind and we're talking about it, I'm pretty sure I wrote her up in the list. It's loading. Gosh darn.
So much stuff.
Yeah. They're people of the past. Yeah.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Yeah, so Illyria just said
Yeah.
I had a uncomfortable encounter with Bertina Velkovna.
She is not alive, but around.
Yeah, well, her spirit kind of invaded my body whilst I was sleeping and wrecked some havoc. Attempted to kill me in a campfire, actually.
That sounds horrifying. But why? I know she was much closer with Strahd than I could say any other person was.
Is it obvious? Strahd is a little horny child, and the fact that another woman liked the horny child, who liked another girl, of course there's going to be a love triangle. And if this ghost can put an end to the reincarnation of the horny child's, source of attraction, of course she would try and do that.
I'm just making sure you are referring to Strahd as horny child.
You're right, he doesn't have horns like you, but horny in other ways.
I'm aware
mean-
of the other use of that word, yes.
I'm not. It doesn't. Can you go home?
Sweet
I'm
summer
really
child.
confused. I am really confused with this
It is
conversation.
not something we need to speak about at this moment, I think. Let us continue on, but why do you think
Somewhere in Barovia, Esmeralda wrings her hands.
why do you think she would turn on Strahd?
Yeah, maybe because she's dead and she's jealous or something.
She loved him. She was there at the battle between us and them.
I mean, imagine if you are going to fight and kill for someone, and then we all gush about Titania this, Titania that. I'm so sad because I'm lonely, because I'm a tyrannical maniac. Boo-hoo! You know, you'll get pretty busy. I mean, hey, dude, I just killed this bunch of people for you, and died for you, probably. Why aren't you kissing me?
So he did not like her back in the same way.
Seems not.
No, he wanted what he couldn't have.
I have missed a lot.
I don't know. Strahd is still Strahd. In any case,
We also know that Casimir is quite haunted by her. And, well, you know how depressed he is. It would be a good deed to try and help him, considering he's willing to do the same to us, to show us the way.
An ally, then.
Yes, Casimir. Patrina's brother. We're still alive.
Never heard of him. But I will take whatever allies we may get.
Agreed. A bit of a change in topic. I think I'm able to cast Sending tonight twice.
You're good with magic.
do you have the souls for this, Illyria?
I think
Okay,
so.
well.
I do believe she does. Well, I think she said last time she would be up for it, but let's double check the last iteration of a character sheet I received. Yes. Yes, she does. She has, from what I can see, 2 potency 1 and 1 potency 3.
Right. I am quite low myself. But if you... we have to send a message to Ezzy, right?
Well, we need to know what's happening, right? And warn them.
Yes.
Well, we already warned them, but... And...
Who do we think may be coming after them?
I'm not really familiar with Stad's goons, so no clue.
I know a few. There is always the Red Fang, who are happy to do his bid and call. But from what you have said, that seems to have changed a small amount. He has many a strong vampire in his own court.
Red Fang we are aware of. I suffered the consequences of the Red Fang situation at Yevon Hill.
Crazy, but brave.
I think you have to remind us, like, because it's been a second about.
Yeah.
Why did we want to? We were gonna need to go 2 ways, right? Like, but we chose to send to the west to warn the Mardikovs that because
Yes.
Mother
So,
Dearest knew of them, so we were to warn them that their secret is out.
yes. And you did. You woke up as Essie in the middle of the night after receiving the dream, and Illyria completely mistook the sounds she heard.
You're already awake. Yeah.
And Essie went, "Oh shit, I'm gonna talk to them and see what I can do." Right, and it's been 2 days. Well, basically 36 hours since that moment, and you don't know if this is true, what Morgantha said, or what's happening.
So it's a check-in. See how things are now, and to give the heads up that Mother Dearest is dead. But that doesn't mean they are safe.
Alright, I can then send a message saying we're fine. Morgantha is dead. That doesn't mean that the threat is over. What is happening with you?
Oh, it sounds fine. Yeah.
Feels a little informal, but would work.
I mean, can you? How does this spell work? Is it like you send out a bird? Is it a magical bird? How do you send it?
My father tried to teach me it before I went, but it's taken me a while to get the hang of it. It's 25 words. And then I
25
can
words.
respond with 25 words as well. Yes.
Do you think you can fit all of that information in 25 words?
Yeah, it's just what I said. Yes, you just need to be short. Hi, we're fine. Morgantha is dead. doesn't mean threat is over what's happening. Right?
Yeah, good. Maria gives 2 thumbs up.
I mean, unless there's anything else we want to ask or say.
If you can fit it in, ask if she's going to the funeral.
Oh, all right. I will. Okay.
Wait, who's funeral? Who's dead?
Eva's funeral.
Wait, didn't she die weeks ago?
Yes. But she meant a lot to a lot of people. It takes a while to get the message out and have them all come together on Savoie to have a funeral.
Oh, okay.
It's not like, transport is instantaneous for everyone.
I know. We just usually we just bury bodies and move on. We don't really what's around here for so long. So when the funeral will happen, I mean, yes, sure, of course.
Okay. All right. Illyria rolls her shoulders and kind of concentrates. She sends like a glare slash anxious looks towards Irius, as it reminds her a little bit of her kind of like father's oversight. There's a bit of an audience here. She becomes a little bit like bitter about all of it, but she kind of finds her center eventually, and she recites the words a little bit in her head over and over again. She focuses her soul mark, pulls out the souls, rolls a vibe check.
Let's go, vibes.
DV 15.
We can do this.
Oh.
No vibe.
Oh. Okay. She basically says what I just recited, a little bit stammering though. And then she would relay what Essie responds, word for word. Of course not with her accent, but I will do it for the stream, for the Essie feeling. I just sat down. Okay, darling. We made it safely to the Abbey. Dimitri let us in. It took a while, hard to travel, stealth mode, bats aggro, ravens dying. I don't know if it's enough. I'm not sure if I'm welcome.
What does Illyria say?
Exactly that, but with that Essie's
Okay.
accent.
Right. Well, we kind of expected that. But it's good that she's made it to Kresk.
But guys, that's... if the bats...
And Strahd is actively engaging them.
In some form or another, yes. How safe is it there?
Kresk is fortified, but Strahd is Strahd. I imagine he's taking it out on the people of Kresk after we made that region somewhat safer. He didn't appreciate that we went against him to mess with his hounds. They have walls, they have armaments, they have all the resources they need to hold out. And if Ezzy's there, well, if Dmitri is not going to act like the leader that he should, at least Ezzy will. And
Good.
who knows? Maybe Asphodel is there as well.
She was heading there, right? When she learned Valaki wasn't safe.
Right.
Perhaps might be the best place for them to be.
I can't think of a better place that could be fortified.
But then is the question, what has happened to Danica and Irvin?
Well, we can't figure everything else out in the space of a sending spell.
And I will be risking my last salt to do it, so I pick one.
We have our job, they all have to do their job. We need to get the stones. We're just dealing with smaller issues at this point. We need to stop cutting the heads off the Hydra and fucking kill it.
Go for the heart.
Right.
Well, which heart to go for? The next heart, then? Is the metaphor true?
What do you mean?
Barovia village to go and get the heart.
Yes, of course. That is the intended goal. If Casimir has the stone, we need to get it. We need to release this creature down the hill there. We need to deal with the actual problem at its source, and Strahd is going to be angry and upset, and you try to thwart us at every turn.
We must be
Because
very careful being so close.
Alright, then the best thing we can do is get a good night's rest, no?
I'm afraid so, yes. It's been quite a day. I mean, every good day is quite a day, but this has been quite a day.
I will say that with the current actions that have been taken, there may be members of my order trailing us.
already,
It is what I was doing before I was captured, of course.
what are you doing, Jacob?
Keeping track of you, following you on the orders of my commander.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I was not alone. But I do not wish to face that who I was with.
Rivka, how... What made you come to your senses?
Wait, before we get that, who are you traveling with?
Who are you?
No. He was. You said you were traveling with someone. You weren't just traveling alone. You weren't just spying on us alone.
Was
Who?
it the other dragonborn that we saw with him? All sneaky.
I was not traveling in a sense side by side, but I was not alone in my effort. My sister Carla. We were both set upon trailing you.
Why?
Because my commander was not sure that you would keep to your word. I think that the felling of Morgantha may speak volumes to him on your real stance upon him. So, I must warn.
Are you going to leave us in the night to report back to your commanding officer?
No. My order is not what I swore to currently. They are still my family. And it pains me greatly to see them what they are. But they are not of sound mind.
Do you seek to end them then?
No. I seek not to fight them. I do seek to free my order of the disgusting fate it has happened upon. But I am aware that we may come to head in some ways.
Which brings me back to my question. Why exactly? What made you change your mind?
It was rituals of Morgantha and your sisters. I think they wished to turn me under their whim, harness the curse that was afflicting my mind to protect them rather than protect Strahd. But
Wait.
they did it in a way that freed my mind, but not under their control.
If my sisters can do it, maybe I can do something similar.
I do wish, but they used components I do not think suitable. Lives.
Yeah.
You think back to the hanging upside down corpse of a humanoid in the very same tree that Jivkos was prisoner in.
Jivkos doesn't actually blink, but for this he seems to close his eyes for a few moments, thinking of something with a small visual grimace curling at the side of his sort of jagged mouth, but it is quickly dispelled. Yes. I wish to free my order, but I will not have lives of those of this valley's taken just to alleviate my own feelings and pride. Though I do hope that we recover something of my order to what it used to be. I do believe that all hope is not lost. And I think I may be a representation of that.
No, it's not lost, it's just hoarded.
That is one way of thinking of it.
Nix. Can you please make me an intelligence check with disadvantage? Yeah.
Is that Nick's
Ooh. With all the talk of Jivkos, the Order, Strahd, people of the past, court, while thinking of all of these topics, what comes to mind is a certain someone who was extremely grumpy and angry, a woman in the castle garden with a necklace.
Oh, Yaniv knows that Amadia doesn't.
Do you remember what the necklace looked like?
It was a silver dragon, right?
Yes.
Well, if you seek to restore your order, Jivkos, maybe there is someone at Ravenloft who can help you. And it's not just going...
It cocks the side slightly as he just stares right at Nyx.
I didn't really make a choice here. It was more like serendipity. There was a vampire at the castle. Of course there was. Her name was Lady Eris.
Yes.
She seemed interesting, and maybe I was a little salty with the fact that Strahd was giving Illyria all the focus and attention. Maybe a little jealous. So I went out into the gardens whilst Illyria was being courted. And I just so happened to stumble upon Lady Eris brooding in the gardens. And no matter how much charm I attempted to, portray, she was not having any of it. However, after feeling her out, metaphorically speaking, I said some words that Argenvoshot said to us, which rang true to her. She cautioned me and then disappeared, but she did not kill me, which gives me some instinct to say that you may have someone on the inside already.
I haven't talked too much about Sarah Aries in the lore document because she wasn't that important to your history, but you certainly knew of her in the order. She was on the fast track of becoming a knight, a high knight, because she showed like great talent. She had a problem with her temperament and discipline, right? But she didn't lack skill. So over the years, she matured a little bit, and it seemed like if she just could control herself a little bit better, she would be a mighty extension to the High Knights. And what I've highlighted in the document underneath one of the people of the past, that text refers to her.
Hmm. Would he know her by name, I assume, then?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Certainly interacted with her and trained with her and such.
Mm-hmm. I do know of such a name.
Really? How?
She used to be a member of my order. But I was unsure what became of her. I remember her admiring Sergei at the meeting between my order and another. But she was an up and coming face in the order. Do you know how she came of this?
Came of what? She did not allude to that information. Do you know?
Was she at the battle?
Make me an intelligence check with disadvantage.
Alright. Disadvantage.
Let's see how much your past self saw. 14! 14!
Let's go disadvantage rolls.
Yeah, high five.
No.
No.
Iris was strangely missing from the battle. But everything happened so fast, you know, because the battle took place sooner than the knights wanted, right? And there was an ambush situation going on. But in the whole preparation coming up to what the knights planned to do, she was often missing, and during the battle itself, you never saw her.
If a chill could sort of run down his spine, it would have, but I do not remember her much during preparations, and during our fall she was missing. That makes me think, was she working for him?
I'm pretty sure. Well, if she was then, it is likely that she is holding a lot of regret.
I would hope so.
So maybe because she's holding a regret, she's looking to make amends.
She seems to be somebody I would like to speak to then.
Kind of a little bit away from Ravenloft as it stands now, but
But
if we are needing to recover the skull of Argenbost, she could be our way to ensuring that is successful.
do you have any way of contact with her or anything?
Nyx gestures to Illyria.
She awkwardly waves.
We literally just did a sending spell.
I know, but that's gonna be. I'm unsure of the nature of your spell, if whether you would have to be familiar with them, as of course only Nyx met with this heiress.
She knows enough about them. It's not like it's a stranger. We're not picking anyone out of a random hat. I can provide information. And
see her in the big
Illyria
ballroom,
didn't-
yeah.
Illyria did meet her, or at least see her. And familiarity is just knowing who they are, not just a random stranger.
So that is how your spell works, of course.
Right.
I feel fairly confident that I could do that, yeah. Question is it wise?
I am unsure, as, of course, she could be luring you as such to attempt to catch you out, so to speak.
That's also a question of what would we say?
I mean, we're not talking about the most trustworthy person around here, right? If she has a penchant, if she has some tendency to do whatever suits her, I don't think we can rely on her that much.
But if we can, if she is as she says, what use that could be? Immeasurable. Do you not agree?
Given we have access to the castle, at least its doorways. We kind of might struggle getting in, but we at least can, open the magical doors. But having someone on the inside opening the doors for us and distracting everyone, that would be far superior. This is a little bit, down the line. But basically, because you don't have to give up hope. There is a way to restore your order.
That I shall fight for.
And then you just have to fight with us.
I am aware. Why else do you think I am still here?
I don't know, maybe my charm?
My spots. No? Oh, okay, no.
I think you just like us, maybe it's nice speaking to people who, speak to you.
That tends to be how conversations work.
Yes, but
I feel we're setting the bar a little bit low.
No. I mean, when was the last time you had a genuine heart-to-heart with someone?
Most likely a time when I was back at my Bergenvost Holt.
See? And now you do have heart-to-hearts here. We're like heart partners.
It's all about the heart.
Bit confused.
I'm lost as well, but point being is that I think you like us. A smidge. But you do.
You fight against Strahd. That speaks volumes for you already.
I think you like us.
You like
Just admit it. We like having you, okay?
That is a surprise. I thought my smell was getting to you.
Well, Nyx is sitting down, not downwind, so it helps.
Sitting upwind.
Yeah.
I think you have been spoiled a bit. If you have not had to deal with a bit of dirt.
Don't change the subject.
Hmm?
As long as you're, aligned with our goals, Chipcos, we will be happy to have you.
My goal is to see Strahd dead. And this valley and its people freed. That alive.
Then what are you going to do about your sister?
He looks like he's about to say something, but hesitates for a moment and just thinks. If you mean if we meet her?
Well, where would she stand? Is she like, yay, Strad, or is she more like, boo, Strad?
She is still under the influence of my order and the curse.
So how did you break your influence?
I have already explained. It was Morgantha.
So we need the hag. Nix looks at Hamatia. Go on,
Yes,
break
but
it.
he also explained
missed a
that
bit
we
here,
need to
Nick.
sacrifice a person, so I don't think we're that enthusiastic to do so.
So
Unless we find a bad person. Maybe if we can get like a really bad person. Like a murderer or
Maybe if we can get our hands on Victor?
Maybe.
Yes, I don't like victors. Their names are bad. Yes.
that
If
is
we
the
get
son of the burgomaster you spoke of before, correct?
Right. The one who brainwashed a girl that he liked just for the hell of it. The one who is in league with, I believe, Mother Knight. Tortures cats. This sort of deal.
What? You're a despicable individual, but
Killed a servant too, with his faulty teleportation circle.
Yeah.
give us
Burnt my hands.
With a
intentionally.
lightning trap.
is this something you wish
Intentionally?
to pursue?
This is why we're going to. Well, one of the reasons why we're going to Barovia is to like put that little shit out of his misery. Obviously, that's easier said than done. What with his mother taking up the reins of Burgomaster, I think.
Yeah. The guards told us.
But one thing that caught my attention was that if she is a Burgomistress and Cantomir, the little prick that he is, wanted to become Burgomaster and failed to do so, I wonder whether or not. Well, I'm pretty sure he would probably turn on her as fast as possible if it meant that he would become Burgomaster.
And you trust this replacement?
No. Then we kill him.
Wait, so who's Burgomaster then?
We put
Hopefully his mark is still there.
Bismarck. Yes.
His heart seemed to be in the right place.
And do you think Strad will let us switch Burgomasters and basically stage a coup d'etat in the village closest to Ravenloft?
If I ask nicely enough.
I think we're done about trying to appease Strad. We do things our own way.
A matter of appeasement. It's a matter that if we start playing politics where we might be dragged into full frontal conflict, and whilst I respect our abilities and our strength and power, I do believe we are not ready to take on an army yet.
True enough, but like I said, we can use Cantomir, and he is a spineless little weasel of a man that we can easily overpower.
Justice for Alenka.
Justice for Alenka too.
I see. Very well.
I remember what we overheard from the ball. That one of us overheard Strahd talking to Cantomir and said something along the lines of, I don't care what happens as long as you produce wine.
Mm-hmm.
We know what
And
these hearts did for the Martikovs at the vineyard before they were taken. And now we have gotten news from Mariella that the vineyard is alive. The village is alive again with wheat and greenery. Even if we don't play politics, if we take that stone, that would be going against Rod.
I am happy
Yeah.
to take whatever action we may against him.
You're already against Strad.
Yeah, we are, but it would be, well, I think with killing Morgantha, it would be overt.
I thought us going against Yesterhill was overt enough.
I think we played it as it's when the splinter was out of hand, uncontrollable. We questioned him. How could he ever allow this? And he said himself that, well, he claimed that he would destroy it if it wasn't tameable.
So, yeah, we could, I don't know. We need to get the stone because he who controls the stone controls the vineyards. Spice. The vineyards.
Focus, Nix. It's about freeing the elementals, not producing wine.
Stop breaking the fourth wall.
It is a way to ensure that. Wait. Here's the thing now. If Cantemir is not the burgomaster and there is wheat growing in outside village Barovia, that means he doesn't have the gem anymore because unless he is in line with the burgomistress, which I can't imagine he would be unless he is just like, so smitten with her. Maybe he's in love with her or whatever. Maybe he wants to play daddy. But either way, if he had the necklace and wheat is growing, he either does not have the necklace anymore or he is complicit. Either way.
Mm-hmm.
Strad wants wine. If at the very least we cannot get the amulet, the necklace, the stone, we can burn that vineyard to the ground.
I've never thought I'd hear you suggest destroying alcoholic beverages.
Not alcohol yet, and who's to say that I won't take a pocketful myself? Make
Fair
my
enough.
own wine. Chateau de Nix.
Blackjack. All right. I'm with you. Whatever you think is the right way to go.
Well, it sounds like we have a plan then.
We do,
Good.
but we need sleep.
We wish to head to Barovia.
Yes.
To the village then. All right. It's gonna be a little bit awkward, but I will bear it.
And if we can stop along the way in Thepul just to see what's going on there. It's on the way.
Don't you want to be in this funeral?
Madame Eva's funeral.
Yes. I mean, she sounds very important to you, and it looked that way from things we've seen. Well,
Look, if it means going to an event and trying to console others that Madame Eva is gone when I know that she's not gone, she's just a hostage in gargoyle form. No, I don't want to attend that. But if it means that we'll get an edge because someone is there that we could potentially get the ear of, then fine.
Whatever you
I
decide
see,
to do, I'm gonna be with you, okay? And Illyria kind of, pats your hand.
aww.
I will think upon it as we make our way there.
Very well.
Well, if it's all the same to you guys, I'm a little bit tired now. I spent quite a lot trying to fight that bubble fart. I'm going to turn in.
It's been a day. Good night, everyone.
Good night, good night, good night.
Wake me up when it's my turn for a watch.
Wake me. Yes,
Inside.
and Saul will always be on watch, by the way. He will always assist the guardsman.
Of
But then how does he
course.
wake you up? Because if you're sleeping, how would Soul wake you up?
He'll couch chop your nose. What do you mean?
He's gonna wiggle your nose hair.
Yeah,
Oh my god. Okay, if you...
we have ways.
Okay.
God.
God. Indeed.
Okay.
All right. Okay, you go to bed, and
Yes,
with
we
that,
do the
we
sleep.
roll hit points, and we go and take a short break.
Short break.
To break.
Come back and we're ready and able to play for like an hour more. I think. Okay. Gonna restrict ourselves a little bit. I'll be right back. Need a drink.
Alcohol.
Raid, I am here. Let's roll some HD for Arius. So he regains half, rounded up, starting with the lowest. So 46.
Are we rolling stuffs?
Yeah. So you regain half, rounded up,
Yeah.
starting with the lowest. If you have different values.
All right. So now
And
I'm
then
just
you
gonna-
spend.
I'm just gonna do it one by one, I think.
Sorry.
Let's see.
Thank you. I think Jibcos needs all of it. Okay, now we're gonna roll. Maybe half.
And then one more. That is full. Yes. All right.
Okay.
I was up to full hit dice and then just used half.
Nice.
Yeah. I will say that using like PDFs as sheets, sometimes they do a little bit of a glitchy thing where like they have one value stored but they show another. It's a bit weird.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
I think my PDFs are just really fucking weird. Oh.
That is unfortunate.
What's wrong with your PDFs?
I think my PDF, like the thing that I use on, is just a bit weird because I've just run them on Microsoft Edge, and sometimes they have one different value stored. I don't have Adobe.
You should get it. Get the reader.
I need to. Yeah, I probably
Yeah,
should.
and
but,
Adobe Reader Touch, the most bare bones ever, and completely free. And you don't have issues with saving.
I was
Reader's
gonna
always
say,
been
if
free.
not, I'm just gonna pirate it. But actually, I shouldn't speak. About
The reader is free, man. It's always
Yeah.
been free.
Yeah.
You don't need the Adobe Acrobat. You just need the Adobe Acrobat Reader.
I am installing it this moment.
Oh, perfect.
Oh yes, and then you get to see all the fonts that are in it because like Edge does not show them.
Does it not? Oh,
No,
damn. Okay.
you're living on a less than premium experience, boy.
Oh my apologies,
I
creator
know,
of
man.
the
know.
multiple cheats that I've used.
I don't know.
How do you feel that your work has not been appreciated so?
Like my life has only been half lived.
Aw. I'm that important to you. I get it.
Also, speaking about work being appreciated, I feel like my Photoshop skills have upgraded a little bit.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that with the like fire thing on the hill with the sort of decrepit ruins. It looks really good, actually.
For those who actually remember, it is an old
It was
picture that we used in the past with the fallen windmill.
yeah. You had the windmill on it, and you just like you charred that bad boy up.
Yes, indeed.
Charge that bad boy up.
So charred.
Oh my god,
So,
Ray.
It's
My
the
god.
it's the original art. Actually.
The original art.
Original art?
Oh
my God.
see.
My god. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how
Oh my
it used to
God.
look like.
Looks so good.
Yeah, it was just the sky and the windmill itself, and obviously the little bit of the grass that you photoshopped, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Roses too.
Hello.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
Peace
Good morning.
Pizza.
What about
Ferrari.
Eh,
I don't know in Italiano.
Ravioli, tagliatelle.
Ah, Mezio Auditore, requiescat in pace, something Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's
Nice.
Creedy.
God damn.
My father speaks fluent Italian, and
Damn, why?
I feel so ashamed of myself right now. He studied medicine in Italy.
Language.
Okay.
Hey, peppity boopity.
So he actually taught me
Forget
that,
about it.
you know, like the pasta signs that everyone does, like the stereotypical Italian thing that you do with your hands.
Yeah, the gesture.
Apparently, they are like bigger than an F-bomb in southern Italy. Apparently, if you do it to someone in southern Italy, it's
Yeah.
like saying that you fucked his sister.
I mean, I work with Southern Italians, so my company is like half Italian. So I live with Italian every day, and
My condolences.
I know,
I
right?
don't know if it's real because it didn't sound real to me, but my father told me so. And yeah,
No, I mean, well, Italians, they're quite graphic anyway, so I wouldn't say it's like that obscene to do that. I mean, it's kind of they gesture wildly regardless.
Hey, fuck your mom.
Yeah, they talk as much with their hands as they do with their voices.
that's fun.
I'm friends with South Indians and a girl from Nepal. lived in India for a long time, and they also speak a lot with their hands. But just like another, instead of like the, you know, the pinching motion of like, you know, throwing salt on something fabulously, they do the snake hands instead. There's a lot of snake hands. And then the moving of the head is very fun.
Baguette.
There's that joke about Italian resisting torture indefinitely. He would have talked, but his hands were tied. That's so fucking
Actually,
stupid.
you know, it is quite difficult for an Italian to not use their hands. Like it's a real thing.
Yeah, for sure, but maybe not like that.
No, but,
Maybe.
I just think they all know sign language.
yeah,
Well,
that's how it came to be.
Oh yeah. They've got their own sign language.
That's a lot of swearing.
Every 3 letters has to be on.
emphatically, you know.
Gestures in Italian.
Yeah.
It's very funny how like every language evokes a different sort of like body language as well. I don't know. It's like some. How do you call? It's like an. I don't know. What is the name of like a people study? It's like an anthropologic.
Yeah.
Anthropology?
Yeah, it's like an anthropologic thing. I don't know. So what are we waiting on?
You to roll your hit dice.
Oh,
I didn't
I'm
need
at
to.
full HP.
Oh, okay.
You guys are all at full HP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we had Beacon of Hope and freaking like Healbot Central, so I'm 2 health down, but I had 0 no, I had 3 health dice remaining, so I will take an additional 4. So it's been a while since I've had hit die, and I have like this freaking armor on that I could use with the hit die, but I've never had a hit die to use it.
Loser.
Yeah,
Well, I
it's
can be
true.
doing extra damage, but no hit die. Lol.
Lol. I was also editing the time and weather handout that I have added, so you don't have to ask me about time and stuff like that.
Huh?
Yeah. In
How does that
handouts. In handouts?
Time changes? Like you change it every hour?
Yeah,
4,000
no, like at the turn of like a a scene, I guess.
What?
So, oh, okay, they're long. Yeah. Oh, so like a really nice temperature as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see anything. It's not loaded yet.
Time and weather underneath handouts. Next to the mysterious time and we'll get the study resources. Also,
Why
did you have any time to do any reading last night or just sleep?
Oh, okay. Oh, you're gonna update that as things change. Okay.
Yeah. Exactamente.
Noise.
Noise indeed. It's also like good for like days and how many days you tracked. You know.
I'm kind of scared to ask, but the temperatures are Celsius, right? You're normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I don't care
we're not
about
American.
freedom.
I don't give a
Freedom units.
What the fuck is a Fahrenheit?
fuck is a kilometer?
But I only measure temperature in Kelvin. Because he's my buddy.
Well, then it's easier with Celsius, you know? Just do.
No, I measure in kelvins, in mushrooms.
Oh, and also dead got. Yeah.
Oh, in Kelvins. Lol. Alright. Okay. So, sleep is had. It is undisturbed. You have your watches. It's very dull. You have thought and talked enough. So, let's carry on our way. Battered and bruised.
Carry on our wayward son.
Copyrighted. Careful. Battered and bruised, you push your aching bodies into action this morning. Breakfast is a sorted affair, quiet and moody, and over too soon. You pack up your things and face the ever faithful main road winding through the Savoie woods here in the heartlands of the Cursed Valley of Barovia. A shining ray of light this day is that the weather is far fairer than the last couple of days. The mists are thin and the wind is almost non-existent. During the night, the temperature managed to drop just below freezing, so during your first hour or so of travel, you got to enjoy the crunchy sound of frost covering mud, and your shoes were mostly saved from the massive amount of water the earth was drenched in the last 2 days. But as the sun climbs higher on the other side of the misty blanket from you, the temperature swells to 7 or 8 degrees or so. Pleasant for a day of walking, but not so pleasant for your shoes. Ever since the frost melts, the mud loosens, and the puddle exposes, and soon your boots are drenched by muddy water. You begin to sorely miss the wagon and horses you left behind in Balaki. And lastly, there is a peculiar feeling in the air. It's hard to really put your thumb on it. And it kind of creeps up on you during these first hours in the morning. It's hard to put words to it, but yet is intrinsically and instinctively there. The air of Barovia has changed, and you find it more dangerous than it used to be. Whatever protections you might have enjoyed before, they might have somewhat thinned as of late. Yay! Anything you want to do?
Not particularly. We spoke enough.
I did put in the wrong weather. I realized. Wrong day for wrong weather. Just keep an eye out and think heavy thoughts. You don't have to agree with me.
Yeah.
No.
I do the big things. Well, next is going to be somewhat pensive anyway for like trying to think about the funeral and like what he's, what's happening in Savoie. Like he is pensive.
Nix.
Keep his eye out.
I'm not able to grab Nix for a second. Hey.
Did you see him being pensive here? Yep. Go ahead.
I don't think I have a good reputation with the tieflings.
The tieflings? Oh, with in Savoie, you mean?
Yes, in general. I think. Do you think a lot of them are the same people who might or might not have known about my relationship with Mother Dearest?
I mean, from my...
there was like this really one fucking asshole. What was his name? He's like a really big piece of shit, you know? He's like a tiefling. What's his name?
Ruvash?
Think of like the biggest piece of shit you can think about who's Tommy.
Right, but do you mean in Sepul or do you mean...
Arigal, yes.
Arigal?
Yes.
In Valaki? Well, they moved on. I believe they moved on to Village Barovia?
Do you think they'll be attending the funeral?
I mean, Madame Eva was quite a significant person in the Valaki world. She's one of the oldest. Not a person in Barovia doesn't know who Madame Eva is.
So it should probably not be in this form then, because Arigal kind of banished me from Vistani camps for good. Or something along these lines.
Sure. Who do you feel you should look like?
I think it needs to be reliable. Do you have anyone, any sort of common folk near Barovia village that you might happen upon on the road?
I don't think you need to be a local. You can put anyone.
Stand out enough for all of us.
You can masquerade as a tiny asphodel.
I can masquerade as a big ass for that as well.
That's even better.
Yeah, well then, Amartya will. You all hear the crack of bones as Amartya transforms into big asphodel. Oh, well, this is certainly an exhilarating form. I think I quite like it.
Who is this?
This was our friend. She's still around. Ex-Order of the Silver Argent.
Do you think Asphodel will take offense to me imitating her?
No, I think she'll enjoy it quite a lot, actually.
Ha! I hope so.
Are they like you and from outside of the mists?
Yes.
Just remember to cast judgmental looks here and there towards me.
Amartya
You will sell it better.
As for Martia, will raise an little hairless eyebrow.
Oh god, that hurts.
And be like, how do I look?
Honestly, it's uncanny.
Good.
Stunning. I'm excited. Okay, this is actually a perfect opportunity to double check some values with Adrian for Nyx. Have passive perception changed from 14?
No.
Passive investigation 16 or plus 6?
Correct.
Vitality saving throw plus 2?
Plus 3.
Plus 3, okay. Resolve saving throw plus 0?
Plus 4.
Plus 4, okay.
What the fuck?
And composure saving throw plus 1?
Why?
Plus 2. Good to know.
Yay, trauma! I'm in danger.
I'm in danger.
I have everybody else's stats. That's the thing. Like they upgraded stats, but I didn't have yours.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure mine will
okay.
be on, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but that means it's actually Irius, a couple of hours into your walk today. Before lunch though, just like 2 hours about, he kind of like stops you all, and kind of make you all like huddle up and a little bit in a circle, and he goes, I don't mean to alarm anybody, and perhaps don't look over my shoulder, but there is somebody in the bushes aiming a crossbow at me.
Which direction?
Over my shoulder, 7 o'clock.
I unalarmingly, as best as I could, look over his shoulder.
You have to squint a little bit. Evidently, Irius is pretty perceptive. Because it takes like a moment to really see what he means. But indeed, there is a cloaked, dark figure crouched in the underbush, just a couple of meters from the road, just perfectly still, with a cocked crossbow, just aiming towards the road and the whole group.
We've had a long rest, so...
Jivkos is just ready to, if he sees any sort of movement from them, because I'm assuming he can see straight over the top of Arius anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So if he sees any sort of movement that looks like they're about to fire, could he sort of like
Arius reaches your head.
like, basically push Arius out of the way or get himself in the way?
Easily. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay. He'll just be ready to do that, basically, just in case.
Do you know where it is? It is.
No.
Okay.
You
Well, we
saw
just gonna
the,
have to jump on him.
you saw the gleam of the arrow and made a bit of a side eye, and here we are.
Well, they haven't shot us yet, so unless it's an ambush, I say Jivkos, run straight at them, or call them out.
He looks slightly confused, but then just nods and immediately sort of comes out of the little squeaky thing and just starts walking directly towards them, like in the way of everyone else.
Oh god. The figure stands up, backs away a couple of meters. It kind of pulls the hood back, and there is like a voice going, "Holy fucking morning, Lord!" At the same time, there is a voice somewhere in the back going, "Gregory, what's happening? Did you see something?" Yeah, guys, there's people over here. A big furry creature is coming towards me. Stop in the name of Lady Wachter and
He'll
explain
just-
yourself.
He'll stop, but more because, like, before that, not in the name of Lady Vactor, he doesn't give a shit about that name, and just sort of looks at him sort of almost expectantly. Why were you pointing a crossbow at my friend?
There's several kind of similarly clad people that comes out of the bush, all with their crossbows kind of like half cocked in your direction. They're kind of looking towards Gregory and back towards all of you with this very scared look on their faces. They're mostly dressed in like camouflaging colors, but like painted on their chest is a black W. I didn't mean to offend. I think I recognize now Saint Illyria. Do apologize. We're just searching for Miss Rikalova. Have you seen her around?
Miss,
Of course, it's just staring at them, sort of just waiting.
do we know this name?
Ooh, make me an intelligence check.
I don't know this name, do I?
No, but Illyria can make one.
Okay.
19.
Ooh, let's see
Nick's a
if
smart boy these days.
this was pretty hard, so you needed pretty high. So
Congrats.
yeah, just a 10 for Illyria, so you definitely remember. You met a Miss Wilhelmina Rikalova in the Church of Saint Androl when you came over to meet Father Lucian and talk to him. You interrupted a brief conversation with a
that's
pretty
true, yeah, we
distraught
did.
middle-aged woman who asked Father Lucian to help her talk to Burgomaster Vargas Volakovich to release her son from the Reformation Center. And she was like crying and sad, and she seemed to be middle-aged. And Lucian gave his platitudes, and then she left. And then you continued talking to Father Lucian. That's all you remember of her.
Why would she be out here? I mean, why would she not be in the walls of Valaki?
Well, you can ask yourself. That's the damn woman running us around days now. Please, Anna.
And you're looking her
that is not
for-
really respectful. This is Saint Illyria in our presence. Let's not use any bad language. Well, you see, Rigalova, she had a hell of a baby recently. And she refused to hand it over as per the new laws. To...
A baby.
Isn't it?
Hand her baby over.
What?
Yeah, right. The
Why?
Halvers,
Yeah.
should be put into safety and, taught and be of use of society. And she didn't want to let the boy go. And
You are
she escaped, and she is certainly in danger in the woods. We're searching for her. Have you seen her?
Can't say that we have.
It sounds more like she is of danger from you.
Oh,
At least
no. We need them both. And we're here to try and save them from the rest of all of this.
Can I do empathy check on that?
Sure.
Seems legit.
The situation is kind of ludicrous. Said in any other kind of inflection would be pretty sinister. And it kind of throws you for a little bit of a loop.
So let me understand this. Some middle-aged lady has run away, and we need this whole party of hunters to go after her, and yet you fail to track her down, and you point your crossbows at strangers.
I didn't recognize you. I'm so sorry, Saint Hilaria. I was a little bit taken aback by
As I've said,
that
we were
thing
strange
traveling
to you.
with you. Very strange. And he nods towards Jukos.
he's just
As-
still sort of staring.
As I've said, you pointed crossbows at strangers. For what purpose, may I ask?
Saint Hilaria, esteemed friends of Saint Hilaria, we're in the woods. This place is dangerous. I didn't immediately recognize you all. I do apologize.
Try not to point your crossbows at civilians before it goes off. Even at scary places.
Beg to differ, but okay.
Even
Well-
more so, to point them at a knight.
Well, I'm more sad I pointed it at Saint Hilaria, but that's neither here nor there. You clearly haven't seen her. We should try and go in a different direction.
Wait. Who gave you the orders to track down this woman and her child?
Burgomaster Wachter, of course.
You got the orders straight from her lips?
Well, to be fair, it was Miss Rodica.
We know Miss Veronica.
Might make me another
Ah.
intelligence with disadvantage.
More intelligent.
Ah.
This
that's
one
right.
is even more obscure than Rikalova.
5.
Ah,
No. No. Can double check with this one. Whoa! Okay. Illyria says, kind of going up and whispering in your ear. I think Rodica was one of Wachter's close-knit followers. circle of followers, just like Adrian.
I see. How long have you been looking for this woman who is continually eluding you?
Since yesterday, about.
Haha. And how long do you intend on keeping looking for this master of stealth?
I hear your tone. I feel a little bit, well, distraught myself. We're actually trying to help her, and I don't want her to get into danger. I don't know, we thought we caught some tracks. Perhaps she's trying to head towards the village of Barovia. Perhaps. I guess a day or two more, then perhaps we will have to call it quits. I'm sure if she shows up in the village of Barovia, this new burgomistress Lydia, which is strange to say, there might be some kind of diplomacy between the two towns and we can settle the matter. If she survives, and I surely hope it comes to that.
Why do you not think she would survive? Is there danger on the road?
Well, from what I know, if you follow Wachter nowadays, dutifully, Mother Night will protect you against a lot of dangers. Blessed be her name, and the Morning Lord. So it's not as dangerous anymore, but you know, it's still our home, and well, you don't go out here unless you're certain.
She, of course, made a quite disgusted face at him trying to say the Mother Knight with Morning Lord.
But she's clearly not here. And we haven't seen her anywhere, so maybe time to go back to Valaki.
Yes, I do apologize for getting in your way. If you do manage to see her, please tell her to come back. You know, she will be in far more danger living out there than in Valaki. She would be able to see her son, obviously. But then she's not able to live together, alright?
Right.
Alright, good day to you, say Delaria. You kind of like made this awkward bow, trying to make it like extravagant and courtly, but he just doesn't really know what to do. And kind of makes this very awkward clearing of his throat and... Team, let's go that way. And he just points in their direction and they start trudging that way.
She, of course, just watches them go.
That was interesting. Why are they so keen on capturing children?
Why are they taking children from parents?
But why indeed? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
These people disgust me.
There's a change of regime in Valaki. There was a whole restructure. Previously, before we were a part of the regime change, everyone lived in fear of the burgomaster, and they turned a blind eye to anything, constantly reassuring themselves that everything is fine when everything was not fine. And they put people in an underground jail with no light should anyone speak out. No weapons, no armor, no mention of Strahd. We didn't think that was a good thing, so we chose to replace him with Lady Wachter, thinking that, well, how bad could it get beyond that?
It does not seem to have gotten much better.
No, which is why I said earlier, last night, we cannot keep on focusing on bandaging the smaller things. We must go after the actual heart of the Hydra.
I don't like it.
I don't. It seems that as long as we're on the Strad, the moral compass would be compromised, in the least.
That is indeed. I think this despot must fall. But who knows when?
Well, we're not going in that direction anyway, and I don't want to think about it. We have somewhere to be,
Correct.
don't we?
Yes, we do have hearts and elementals and all of that jazz, so let's go.
Jazz.
It's just a word I made up on the spot.
Alright. Okay. And you continue on your way. Alright.
Let's go!
On the road to the radiant
Yeah.
city.
Yeah.
Home, country road.
Lunch
West
comes.
Barovia!
But you're traveling to the east now. Lunch is had. The afternoon passes. A few leaves kind of crunch and a branch to your side, and all of you turn in a worry, and it's just a squirrel.
A squirrel.
Squirrel!
What the fuck just happened?
You said joke. You needed to be there to understand. Tabion!
Give me a good job, Tabian. These squirrels will not get us tonight.
So fucking good. And eventually, your tired feet cannot take it any longer, and you sit down for yet another camp. I assume we still have run our tongues pretty dry tonight. What is the structure of our watches?
I want to go first.
Okay, all right.
Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, all right.
I'll go next, no problem.
Okay. Irius and Illyria are willing to also help. Irius is gonna take one. Illyria is gonna rest, and Jukos takes the last.
Sounds good.
Okay. I don't want to make decisions for you, Weebu.
Sorry, my friend came into the room. I'm here. What was it? Sorry.
Do you want to take the last watch, or should Illyria?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll take a watch.
Okay, cookie. Oh yeah. Also, rations. You spend 4. Jukos do not require a ration.
Yay, I'm dead! Woohoo!
Woo! Doesn't drink or eat.
I think we have like a lot of rations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many actions.
But still subtract 4. And then Cookie,
Yes.
make me a composure perception and tell me what you want to do.
Okay, first things first, as I said, Soul is assisting everyone because he's a good little moth. So he will help me with the help action.
No one will dare approach our
So
camp when I am in the watch.
Yes! So 23 all in all.
Oh, damn.
And
I sleep during the day anyway, so it's okay. This suits me.
Hamadia will mostly she'll try to get some escapism, she'll try to think of like a new play or a new weaving project that she might want to do. But she comes back to the thought of, what if I said yes? What would have happened? Would I be evil? Would I be good? Would it be possible to free the elementals? Did I just screw us all up? Did I just averted the game fate? And she doesn't know. She doesn't know, and she still feels a bit conflicted about all that happened.
Okay.
But She is shocked.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And despite these heavy thoughts and sometimes soul kind of distracting you in your head, talking about what he's going to do if anybody dares approach the camp in a lot of gruesome detail. I'm gonna shut them up, hang them with their own intestines, and so on and so on. You still manage to keep a sharp eye and ear out, and as your 2-hour or so watch progresses into the night, you do notice an absence of something. An absence of a raven's call. There's usually, like we hear right now in the ambience, the forest is alive with ravens talking. But now, there's only other nightly creatures awake. And somewhere off the gloom and the circle, I should say instead the circle of light rather than gloom, the circle of light in your camp, up there on a branch, 2 black eyes wrapped in leathery wings hangs upside down and watches the camp.
I'm looking at this bat. Does it give me the vibe of a normal bat or like a fake creature or something more than just a bat?
Interesting. Make me an active perception check.
Active.
Yes,
Is still perception composure?
please. This won't be intelligence. This is active.
Okay. Perception and intelligence. Oh shit, my composure was +2. I mixed it up. It's 21, all in all.
Okay. Still the same result.
Okay, fine. 21. There we are.
There's nothing like in their features that would make them stand apart from bats you've seen your whole life. But during the better course of that hour or so since you notice it, it just hangs there and just stares in the same direction. Doesn't blink, doesn't move, doesn't fly away. Its eyes never trail.
I'm going to wake this. But I'm going to keep my eye on him at all time. I'm gonna like death stare.
Sure. Are you still asked for them?
No, I'm back to Hamatia.
Okay.
If I go to sleep, I'm ham, so
Ah, that's true.
I can't keep myself.
Okay,
it's
so
fine for me.
basically coming at the end of your watch, or do you prematurely wake, Nix? Because he was going to take the watch after you.
Cookie?
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 You hear me?
Cookie?
Are you there?
It's not like that.
Hello? We can't hear you. You just reset your mic.
Yeah.
Hello from the other side.
I must have called 1,000,000 times.
No?
Hello?
Did you die?
Are you dead?
No. Still can't hear you.
Hello.
Yes, now.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
No, my internet decided to not work for a moment.
Okay.
No, the moment she notices that the bat is creepy, she's going to be like, next,
Oh, so she is going to wake him prematurely. Okay.
next. Nobody
How's my hair?
This bat is giving me a death stare for like 30 minutes straight. What's not something?
So stare back at it.
What are you doing?
What do you want me to do about the bat?
You think it's a spy?
Probably.
What do I do?
I mean, I've killed many a bat, and if it was up to me, I would have already killed it. So what's stopping you?
Nothing. Maybe it was like a friendly one. Maybe you knew that. She's going to chuck to wind blast at the bat.
Okay, make an attack.
Okay. That's the first wind blast. That's 25 to hit for 2 points of force damage. That's the second one for 7 points of force damage.
This is not quite loud.
No,
Yeah,
not
well,
It sounds like a very sharp whistle.
it's pretty loud, but it's not like Amartya is screaming or something. It's like extremely loud, but to cast a spell, it's still like a loud thing to do. Ignis! As does Huna. So you can wake up if you want to, but you can also ignore.
Nah, he's in his death sleep.
Yes, indeed. Sleeping like this.
Looking like the dead.
Well, no, he literally looks like he literally is just a corpse.
Yeah, he's not breathing, he's not moving.
Continues to rot.
Yeah, basically, it smells worse during the night now. The bat, after the first kind of hit, is severely wounded and tries to like fly away. There's like a very high-pitched shrill of a shriek, but soon the other blast hits before it can leave its spot, and it falls down on the ground with a dull thud, dead.
No, you're really like Asfada.
Mm-hmm.
She would make sausage out of that.
Would she?
Mm.
Okay.
Spicy sausage.
I will try to do so. You go back to sleep. You're also not. Anyway. My apologies.
Good job.
Thank you. She's going to take the bat and make and try to butcher it.
Well, there's not much left of the bat after you left kind of like 2 gigantic bullet holes in it, like straight through. So it's mostly just like torn ligaments and bones and like a head. But there might be a few grams you can scrape.
Oh god.
Nice.
Paste.
He's gonna make a bat party, not solid.
Oh, well, okay. It would be more like a tiny meatball, you know? Bat meatball? Okay, yes, I would happily
Bite
eat it.
size.
Yet another skull for my throne.
Moth-eating noises.
Yeah, he definitely partakes. Okay, so Dix, you go back to like 20 more minutes of sleep.
Heck yeah!
Well, okay.
Even if it
Might
was
be-
5 more minutes.
You might be a little bit grumpy in the morning, just saying.
Hey, I mean, you gotta get as much as you can.
Hey, it's true. It's true. Okay, Amartya, anything
He's only
else?
had 2 hours. It's not like he's had like a whole night's sleep. It's just nap
true.
time.
Amartya, anything else?
No.
Okay,
That's it.
alright. So, 24 minutes later, Nixie disturbed once again.
Delicious minutes.
Amartya is going to
wakes
give
up.
him 5 more minutes, actually. Feeling bad.
Yeah,
But
25 more minutes. Amazing.
Yeah. That's like fun.
The next gets up and go, I'm up, okay. What's the situation? Any more bets?
I haven't seen any more bats, but I don't hear any ravens either. I would keep an eye out. And so, being the trusty little morpher he is on patrol duty all night long. So he will be able to keep an eye out or 2 eyes or an antenna out. Yes.
Right, well, you know, I can't understand so can you, like, mention to him to, like, I don't know, do some light blinking if he notices anything?
Yeah,
Like,
like- He's going
Neon
to,
lights? I don't know.
He's going to strike you in your nose the moment if you feel like pinching your
Right.
nose.
Okay. If he comes close to my nose, I'll wake you up.
Okay,
Soul
thank you.
attempts to nest in the pompadour.
That will not stand. Nyx will remember this. Nyx like pauses for a moment and just like tolerates it for a hot second and say, Sol, we know what happens when you anger me.
Soul makes some karate moves to your skull in the most ferocious way it possibly can, and just the lightest taps on your skull you could feel, and then he flies off.
Mm-hmm. I like shoo him away like a mosquito. See if he like moves away from me.
The rivalry continues.
Yeah. Soul is gonna then, during the whole night, just irritate Nyx. Actually, roll a perception check with disadvantage.
No. That makes sense.
Oh.
Sure. 7.
7. What do you want to do as you're very distracted this night?
Nyx has a letter he wishes to write. Obviously, there's no sending mechanism. But he will, be with his book, and he will begin writing draft after draft of a detailed letter that I don't need to mention to who at this point in time, but he is putting a lot of effort into it, which justifies, and with the soul justifies his lack of attention. As he's writing it, occasionally he would look up and see if he can spot anything, but doesn't pay too much attention. But he will glance over the party as they lay there. He looks at Hamatia, who's like, I imagine Hamatia is like the ugliest sleeper. Like she's like
Yes. You see
tongue
like this
out and like
big blob of snot, like almost like a gum sort of. You know how people like have like a bubble gum.
Oh
thing?
yeah, bubble gum. Yeah.
Yes, so it's like a bubble snot, so it's like a snot bubble going on.
Oh god, yeah. And like making all these sorts of noises, and then looks over to Jivkos and like cocks his head, just like, wait, is he alive?
Yeah.
He's literally just like a corpse, completely. Yeah.
Like with his arms crossed also, over his chest.
Oh god.
Like being in coffin, no. But basically.
Yeah, and then looks over to Irius and gives her a wry smile, shakes his head for a bit, and then
I think Arius
He
is
looks-
in a bit of a fetal position and is like lightly snoring.
and then to Illyria, and he's just gonna watch her sleep for a while.
The normal sleeper among the bunch.
Yeah, is she possessed? Who can say? But he pauses for a while on Illyria, and then continues writing this letter. That it's quite long. It's quite lengthy, but he's putting some effort into it. That'll take him the better part of his watch.
Okay. You wake up Arius. Kind of go. Yes, I'm awake. Sorry.
There are bats that are spying on us, according to Hamatia, so feel free to exterminate with extreme prejudice We are not fond of bats here. And that's why there's not here to reclaim their corpses. So, yes.
Really? This doesn't feel like it's a good thing.
Well, we're on our way to Barovia.
Okay, I will kill them when I see them, as you want. As you wish. Alright.
Good night.
Night. And Arius takes the spot. He is going to roll with advantage because he's gonna have a lovely time with Saul, and he's gonna like chuckle to himself as the two are kind of like learning to do some like sign language between each other.
Oh,
And he's gonna like really encourage Saul to do all the karate moves and all the spins and all of that, and like really like grading him and like, you can prove that. I think that was cool.
I'm imagining like the lowest quality like SFM model of a moth doing like some pre-done sort of karate
What
move.
roll is
So
that?
horrible.
What the fuck?
Yummy.
Spicy. Thank you, Saul. And during the course of the night, Arius kills 3 more bats.
Why?
Which he then sometime afterwards he kind of goes over to like gently, kind of like hesitantly try to wake up Zhivkos. Like a gentle nudge at first and kind of like standing back looking, did that do anything?
I was gonna say I think it'd be quite a lot to wake him up.
Like listening to a breath and like, shit, he's not breathing. Like checks your pulse, like, fuck, there's a pulse. What the fuck is wrong? And then he gets a little bit in science mode, and you wake up basically to areas like doing poking and prodding.
It would sort of be waking up with like quite a low and loud sort of.
And Arius like immediately jumps to the side like a damsel. Ah, right, it's so good that you're awake. I was trying to wake you.
Why are you?
Well, you're to take. How do one actually wake you the easiest? It was a little bit hard to get contact.
Shake me.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna be
That works.
a bit more violent next time. Okay. I just didn't want to. Well, I want to inform you, which I heard from Mix, that there are bats around spying on us, and if you see some, you should kill them.
Give me a second. And he'll just sort of crack his neck quite loud and then attempt to focus on his tracking and see where Strahd is, if he's still in Castle Ravenloft.
Oh!
Close his eyes, which he doesn't actually close his eyes much, like, at all, because he doesn't blink or anything.
So, kind of creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Strahd, to your position, is not anymore in the east. That's for sure. Instead, as the birds fly in a number of hours walking, to your position is 10 hours northwest.
Based on his knowledge of the geography of this valley, where actually would that be? Because I currently have no idea where they are, really.
That's probably.
Make me a cunning check. Pure cunning. And you have survival.
Yeah.
So survival cunning.
Cunning is still horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 14.
14. Not as far as Kresk. Probably somewhere in the Valaki area.
Somewhere around Valaki, of course. He'll just reopen his eyes and just sort of glance around to see if he can see any bats. Well, at least we know Strahd is not right here.
How do you know? Like, I don't see any soul mark activation, any souls here. Like, it's not even soul mastery. Not an overt one anyway. Like, your spell casting locate person, as per the divination school. What is this?
I am not exactly sure exact, but ever since I have been in this form, I have been able to focus my mind on locating somebody who I wish to befall, I would say, and I am able to know what direction they are and how far, to a certain degree. It is something I may focus my soul upon while it is resting.
By Boreas, you are a godsend. That's so useful and so interesting. I shall pick your brain about it after I sleep.
Of course, he is currently around Alaki, it seems.
It's a bit unnerving to learn how he can move around so much.
Well, they do have the teleportation circles, do they not?
Yeah, that explains a lot. Okay, the nights grow darker. Yeah, there is a ray of sunshine still here, so let's focus on that, shall we? Bats,
Good night.
kill them. Would you see
Yes.
them? Yes, yes. Good night.
Of course.
And for that, he will actually pull out his heavy crossbow.
And,
So that's
and do
easier.
play with Saul if you get the opportunity. It's delightfully cozy.
We'll sort of just look at Sol with a cocked head if you can see him.
Saul kind of goes up into eye height, and you can just see Saul kind of like staring back at you, and he kind of like puffs out his chest, makes himself as big as possible, and kind of cocks his head to the side a little bit, more like "What you got, boy?" kind of look.
Greetings, soul.
I'll just sort of, I think, start sort of. He'll talk to Sol to see what reactions and kind of conversation he can get out of him, and try and have as much fun he can, while also keeping an eye out, and probably every half an hour checking on where Strahd is.
Oh, okay.
See whether he moved around much, because obviously it's not going to be to an exact. So if he just stays around Valaki, then it's not really going to change.
What is it to the? Is 100 meters?
I can't actually remember.
But is it to the
To an
exactness?
accuracy of 100 meters, yeah.
Okay.
Distance and direction to an accuracy of 100 meters, as long as they're in the same realm.
Gotcha.
I also know if they die.
Okay. Well, that
So I
won't
definitely
happen.
knew
in a
that
while.
Morgantha died when she died.
Oh, that's true. That's true. During the course of the night, you can feel Strahd sometimes move 100 meters. Like, still in that general direction, but like 100 meters, like a degree more to the south or a degree more to the north or such.
But he has an idea of direction. You don't need to give it to me, but he does have an idea of like the exact sort of distance.
Yes, the distance remains the same, just to like a couple of 100 meters, you know, in different directions, and not rapidly, but like over the 2 hours, perhaps 3 or 4 times.
All right.
Also, give me the perception check. And if you accept Saul's help, you do it with advantage.
He will accept Sol's help. He will try and
No!
So it's composure, correct?
Yes, composure. Keep vigilant such a long time.
Yeah. 17.
17. Okay. You do hear the rustle sometimes of like a branch, but as you kind of focus in that direction, there's nothing there. But at one point during the night, you do see a bat who is in the process of trying to fly away.
Can he nail it with a crossbow?
Well, can you? Let's make an attack.
Can he? Ah, yes. I can't remember the stats for this. I've not used it yet. Alright.
Oh yeah,
Roll
with the
the
magic
20.
missile. Do you want to?
No, it's the heavy crossbow he has.
Okay.
So,
21. Easily done.
Yeah.
Thump. And it
And
just
then
goes
it's-
through the skull of the bat, just thumps down a couple of meters away.
So it's a big bolt, I assume.
Mm-hmm. It's more of like an explosion of the creature rather than just a a piercing wound.
A big crossbow.
Mm.
Alright.
Okay.
Nice.
Then. Mhm.
Everyone, this is sort of the time to be getting going if they do not wake up on their own. Aye.
Yeah. Do you do anything special during the night? During your watch?
He won't just keep an eye out to the skies. He'll also just keep an eye out sort of around and for the... I'm assuming he'd know quite well practices of Kala and how she sort of did hers, sneaking and stalking and all of that. Obviously she is much better at it than he was, but he would, I'd at least hope, know exactly how she does everything.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But that
Okay. What are your thoughts at that bat? Eventually dawn comes. The temperature rises. And you wake your fellow companions. Illyria, very happy to get a full night's rest. You do
Nice.
regain half your HD rounded up.
Nice.
Yay.
full.
Okay. Off you are today as well?
Mhm.
No need to tarry?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Sure, for sure.
Actually, yes, something that Nix will do is he's like walking along. He will bring out the compass of stalking and see if like
Oh yeah.
yeah Casimir is in the same general direction that we expect him to be.
Who gave you? Did you give the sending stone to him?
The elf, Casimir, right?
That's a minute. Wait,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got it at
Well,
Fidatov. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Casimir traveled to you and camped outside. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, what is the exact wording of the magic item? To which precision?
To
It's
which
just-
precision?
It's just
I think
direction,
it's just
right?
direct. I think it. I
Yeah,
think it's
because the
just
compass.
direction.
Yeah. The compass needle, instead of pointing towards north, as you activate it and like put your intentions into this magical device, the needle turns southwest.
Okay, so I can actually cast sending through this to him.
Yeah, once. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
once per day, I think,
Um,
right?
Damn, you guys are doing so much shit.
It doesn't actually say once per day.
Okay. Then you can just do it. Nice.
Walkie-talkie style.
Well, the Fidatov were pretty good with their, magic items. They were rich in that way.
The thing is, like, Casimir can also send it to Wait, is it the because wait, hold on.
The
stones come in
the sending stones can cast sending to each other, and then the stalking compass can be set to one of the stones and then shows the direction of that stone.
So he can
Right.
speak to you, but he can't see where the fuck you
No,
are.
I think Hamachi
Yeah.
has the other sending stone.
Do I? I think I do.
Yeah,
It
because
should
we
be.
wanted to be able to track each other when we split it up, split up. So whilst the compass I can choose which sending stone to look at once a long rest.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And but the stones, they can talk to each other. So I'm just looking at the compass and it's the same. Okay, cool.
I should make items of the stones itself, so you can put them out. I will make a note of that.
No, I have
Okay.
the item.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Of the
on the
stones.
compass. But
Yeah,
not,
so that we give them to physically to somebody, so we don't need to remember.
True.
Okay, no, taken. Okay, yeah. But do do you ask Abartia for the stone?
Yes, I think I would actually, since Hamachi doesn't need it right now.
Oh god, I need to turn on my French. Yeah.
Let me help you.
Oh god, Red
In
Roses.
Barovia, some people die and some
Baguette. Okay.
My flatmate's French. They're gonna hate me right now.
Squirrel. I'm ready. Okay, let's go.
Squirrel. This is sending spell though. You don't have to go too. Nyx will take the sending stone.
Oui.
And oui. And I guess like in terms of using it, you just sort of like rub the surface.
Yeah.
And breaker 1-9, come in 1-9. No. He will say, Casimir, this is Nyx. I'm sorry, we haven't managed to get to you yet, but you are not forgotten. Is all well? That's 21.
Glad to hear your voice. I am haunted by my sister every night. I have nothing to do, yet there's no recourse than wait. And so I will. That's the end of it.
At the end of it, yeah, there's nothing more I can do about that. I mentioned to Illyria.
Sounded very tired, flat, and depressed. Some things in Barovia are alive, others aren't.
There's nothing to do but wait. So what does one do but wait?
Illyria kind of chuckles to herself a little bit and then goes, Riley. I guess that's good news. I don't want to make you wait for too long, though.
He's going to wait. We have to get there, and we will get there.
After this, right? We're heading south. Take the next one. Visit the swamps. Just gotta take care of the heart and that little bastard Victor. Deal?
Indeed. Deal.
Okay. Alright. Anything else?
Yay!
From the rest of us?
Not for me.
No?
Uh,
Okay.
He'll still keep on checking where Strahd is because he now knows that he's on the move and is slightly scared, but he won't say it.
Okay, Strahd has moved to the east, slightly north. Gosh, I should have thought about this longer when I had to track this man's movements in my head. No, basically just east and 10 hours that away.
Mm-hmm. And that is.
Make
I'm
me
sorry.
another survival cunning.
I don't know geography. 16.
16. You're pretty much sure, considering where you are mentally on your Barovian map, that is probably Castle Ravenloft.
He will.
Which is just 10 hours east as the birds fly.
He will pass on the fact. He seems to have returned to his castle. East.
Is he quite active?
While I was on my watch, yes.
He's a busy guy. I guess if he gets any closer to us, let us know. Last thing we want is to be tracked by him.
You'll just continue to sort of check on him every sort of somewhere between 20 and 40 minutes because he's not the greatest at telling the time.
Okay. For the rest of the time, this day, they're gonna remain in that distance, which closes slightly with each step that you take as you continue east.
Shocker.
So we have most assuredly and inevitably reached the pinnacle of autumn. The weather once more becomes temperamental, and the sky opens once more to shed its tears on a dark green and red to yellow spotted blanket below. This day, the rain comes in waves, dry for some time, perhaps even closest to what you can come to sunlight here, and then the clouds gather once more, and just minutes thereafter, anything from a drizzle to a torrential downpour meets you on your path. The wind is as fickle, calm and caressing at 1 minute, demanding and fierce in the second. Amartya, the pain written within the discordant and elusive chords doesn't hide from you anymore. You hear them once more. You hear their screams, and it grants you no solace. You've left behind the highland meadows by now, climbing into another yet thick part of the Swallow woods that elevates you even further into the landscape of this valley. In fact, you're climbing onto the cliff plate for which Castle Ravenloft sets its roots within. Through Dick's experience of the area and a map to consult when doubt creeps in, it will be another day of travel and camp before you would reach Stirpool, and a day after that, the village of Barovia. Sometime after a sometimes before a well-deserved lunch break, about 2.5 to 3 hours into your journey, the second set of grand stone walls in Barovia greets you. This one here, close to the castle, is far shorter than its big brother at the eastern and western edges of the valley, but it's still impressive in sight, despite its decayed and somewhat fractured state of being. Flanking the wrought iron gates are another set of tall iron knight statues bearing the mark of the Savage shield proudly on their breastplates. And there, looming within the somewhat shielded, vaulted roof of the iron gate itself, is a cloaked figure that rests his back against the stone brick walls, mist swirling around his feet. When he spots you back in there in the distance as you spots him, The figure straightens, adopts an impeccable posture, and pulls the hood back that was somewhat obscuring his features to reveal the very much known face to you of here we go. Rahadin, steward of Strahd.
Oh boy.
And he awaits calmly for your approach.
Does Jivkos see this?
Yeah.
He will immediately draw his maul.
Jivkos? Something you want to say?
Do you not see who that is?
I do.
So why are you not on your guard?
I am. But I want to know why you're on your guard so eagerly. What do you know of this person?
Do you think he is a new addition to Strahd's armies?
No. He was part of the group. So, you know him, obviously.
Yes, rather well.
Right. And you wish to kill him right now, right here?
I would not be against it.
Whilst that is an interesting choice, the fact that he's standing so boldly outside of village Barovia, which is vastly different from... No, wait, are we at Barovia yet, or we're at the gates to go into the valley?
The gates, the inner gates, that kind of mark the border of the castle grounds.
Yeah.
So if you see on the map, let me just
Yeah.
quickly pull you there. We just made a buddy of it because it does exist. These
It's
are the gates
here,
you're
right?
at.
Yeah.
Which one's the first and the second?
This is the first because you've been traveling from there, you know.
Yeah.
Actually, let me hold you. You're right there.
Aye.
Illyria, what do you want to do here?
Well, he's not immediately hostile. Perhaps I can go talk to him. Jivkos allows.
Jivkos is just staring right at him.
Rahadin raises a hand in a swift greeting.
Maybe we listen to what he has to say?
If you wish for me to not attempt to kill him, then I shall stay here.
Very, very well. Would you come with me next? I need you.
I'm at your side.
You slowly walk up, like the last 50 or so meters, because the eye line here isn't that good with the mists and the thick forest. But as you kind of crunch your way over to him, he bows as he usually does. Lady Lerga, Nix of the Vistani. Well met.
Just Nix.
I shall honor that change. Nix. Mr. Nix. I have worked from my master.
Speak.
Yes, go on. The Count wishes to inform you that he has recently learned of a presence of an organization that he thought was dead and destroyed. The Black Ice. They are highly manipulative, deceptive, and a nefarious spy organization that betrayed the Imperium in the most highest of ways and should not be trusted.
Good for him.
Well, yes, and the Count wishes to inform Lady Lyra that he's taking care of this surprise. And the valley will soon be very much safe again for you all, but in due time. In the meantime, do not approach any speaking ravens. Do not follow their gestures or their words. Do not believe what they say, because they are very good, as I said, deception, and we do not wish you to be corrupted by their lies.
And how is it that you came to know we were coming this way?
The Count is mighty in many ways. Be assured, Lyria, there's nowhere in this valley that you can go that we cannot reach you to protect you.
Is that
Also,
all? You just...
one more thing, if you give me the time. As for your traveling companions, we are quite glad. The Count at least expresses that Master Irius managed to survive the ordeal, and he's willing to let bygones be bygones if, in the capacity of being a crouped, he would be receptive to working, perhaps, with the Count. Then all shall be forgiven for his past rebellion.
That you're going to have to take up with Irius. I don't speak for him. Neither does Illyria.
Pass the message on, and I think that the master will be with you as soon as some other pressing matters have been dealt with you to raise these questions in person. And also please inform the Sir Yukos over there that we are surprised to see a breakthrough of the handling of the curse that be, and that he has regained somewhat of his faculties, and that at some point in the future we do wish to rigorously study his condition to see if we can liberate his whole order from this madness.
He doesn't really like you.
Ah, well, yes, well... There was a slight problem that they were going to attack us. Ambush even in the middle of the day. Not very honorable if you ask me, and the matter had to be dealt with, but here we are, centuries later. I don't really remember, nor do I hold any kind of slight. It's... frankly... I don't care. I can do it again if I need to. But as long as they're willing this time around to recognize the Count's providence, then, well, who are we to not to try and aid?
Okay, anything else?
The Count expresses, like normally, that he misses Lady Rikia's presence immensely and reminds her that he has his home open and welcome to her at any point.
Wait, he's not mad? He's not, pissed off?
I can't really tell, but I think that the Count is willing to have a conversation with the lady about such matters.
Interesting.
And as always, safe travels through the Count's Barovia. And he sweeps his hand, and the iron gate opens.
Wait, before I go, are you staying here? Is this your place now?
No, I came only here to delay this very important message. I'm heading back.
Safe travels to you then, I guess.
Yes, all well wishes and such. And tell the Count that I understand he's busy and he may take as much time as he wishes. I am not in a hurry. Rahadin nods, makes another bow, kind of looks sternly at you both, and then walks through the gates himself, down kind of the road. Then he walks into the forest and kind of disappears in the mists.
Nix looks back toward Jivkos.
He looks absolutely seething.
Jivkos, maybe we have bigger fish to fry.
It is not such a simple thing as that. I'd hope you understand.
I'm sure it's more complicated than I am aware of. But we also have to remember what we are doing.
Killing Strahd.
Well, we're resolving the bigger picture items.
I did not think there was much of a bigger picture than him.
Ooh, I can't hear you. You're kind of.
Just a little bit closer to your microphone.
I see. I did not think there was bigger things than Strahd, but I digress. I shall still hold whatever I have against them, no matter what it is we are prioritizing.
Should this happen again, do you feel like we should just act and just straight up murder him? He's quite strong, I believe.
I'm aware of how strong he is. He killed me.
Oh. Oh no.
Is that...
Could have led with that.
It is not such an easy subject. I am sure you understand.
No, of course, but I thought you just didn't like him.
I have not seen him since he killed me. Do you think that is an easy thing?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too.
Master.
So, it seems like they know of my presence, and I'm not dead immediately. I consider that a win in my book.
I don't know. This is weird. I thought Strad would be a little bit more livid about what we did.
To him, that would be to show weakness. If he shows that, the vampires in his court might just turn. So we shall just have to expose him for the false he really is.
Agree to that.
Oh. Next time we see him, he's all yours.
Okay. And slowly, a little bit wordy, like gingerly, keeping your eyes out, you creep through the gates, who then creak close behind you, closing off the path going back. And you are quite uncomfortably close now to Castle Ravenloft. But you know you have to pass through this area to get past, and then eventually to Stirpool and beyond Village of Barovia to perform your very important tasks. But how that goes, we will find out next time! A Curse of the Misery! Yay!
Wow, my God, I can't believe how they killed you. Oh, sweet.
Yeah. There's shit you don't know.
Oh, we're learning.
Yeah.
We learned